Hey guys, we are back with some more Seattle GM mode, and we have a pretty big episode here. We're going to be making some trades because I did miss out on Connor Sheary and Honors Lee in the last one. Not because I didn't want to sign them, but because I didn't want to overpay them. Because we are a rebuilding team, and in order to sign those kinds of guys in free agency in this game, at least for cheaper than you want to, you kind of have to be, at least hopeful or a contender. We are a rebuilder, so I didn't want to overpay them long term because I was looking for players who are going to be staying here in the long term, not just 1 or 2 years or even just half a year. All right. So first thing we need to do here is sign some players to fill out the minors, specifically forwards, because I think we only have like 6 down there. So we're gonna sign Malhi. We're gonna sign. Is Leopold's? Yeah, he's Canadian. He probably won't be able to sign just yet for the minors. Bobkov is. I don't know what that country is, but we'll sign him. He's 20 years old. McMuffin is Canadian, so we're not gonna sign him just yet. Leg is 20 years old, so we'll sign him as well. I don't want to sign too many of these rookies because I do want to sign some seasoned veterans in free agency so that they can get some help from them. That should be good right there. We'll also sign a couple of defensemen. Merkley, Vasyunov, yeah, sure. I think unless we already have defense covered. Yeah, the miners could use a couple more defensemen there. We'll sign Vasyunov. And we will also sign maybe Vernarski. I mean, he's a top 4. He's a low top 4 technically, so I guess he could get some growth in there. We'll try it out for 1 year. And yeah, that's all I wanted to do there. We will now go into the trade screen because we have some trades to make. So I'll do the small one first. We'll go to Boston, and I will slot in a 4th and a 5th, and I'll try to sneak a 7th in there. I didn't test this out, but we're just going to be trading away our prospects who, are kind of useless. So, the AHL top 6 guys, Longfist, Amble, Altsler, those guys. I think this will work. Let's see. Nope. Okay, so let's try 4th and 5th. All right, perfect. That is done. Now let's make the real trade here. Let's go over to the Pittsburgh Penguins. As funny story here, they actually picked up, as we sort here, Connor Sheary. He is back on Pittsburgh. Now he's not the person who we want to acquire. He's at the $6.1 million salary. I was not willing to pay that for, well, I guess I might have been willing to pay it for like 1 or 2 years for sure, but there's no way he was going to accept that being a rebuilding team. We probably would have had to offer him like 6.8 because I think he was asking for like 5.9 or something. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you guys Pittsburgh's cap situation because take a look here. They have Daniel Sprong coming up, and he's probably going to want around $3 million, I would say, as an 81 overall, and he's probably going to grow as well. And then defensemen, they have Brian Dumoulin. No one else really though. But the big thing for Pittsburgh, they have 5.8 left in salary, and they have to re-sign Matt Murray this year. He's currently making 3.75. He's going to ask for a big raise, and if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm looking to trade away some cap this year. And we do need some forwards. I will admit, we do need some forwards. I didn't see any real good opportunity in free agency that I wouldn't be overpaying for. But Jake Gensel, 24 years of age, 3 years left on his contract of 4.5. I think this is a pretty good deal. Second line forward. He's got some pretty good stats. He's a well-rounded player. It looks like not really a physical player, but all around a pretty solid second line center, or in our case, a first line center. So we're gonna try for Jake Gensel here, and I'm gonna be trading away JT Brown in this trade. And the reason being is that he's an 81 overall right now. And normally I would keep JT Brown in this situation, but the real reason I'm trading him is because he has a very, very inflated overall right now. He is normally a 77 overall. I want to get as much trade value out of him as I can while I can. And because all his growth right now is statistical, that's probably going to drop off at the end of the year or even before the end of the year. So I want to get JT Brown in this trade. We will also include... who else do I have down here? I have Makinen. We just drafted him this year. He's only 53 overall. He is 18 years of age, but he's a real long way off of the NHL. I know we just signed him. I probably shouldn't have. It would have been smarter to honestly leave him on the side, but I think that he's just going to take way too long to develop for what our time frame is for our success, obviously. So I think this is a good trade. JT Brown can replace Gensel temporarily, and then since Brown's on a 1-year contract, Pittsburgh can decide whether they want to re-sign him or not if they have enough cap after re-signing Murray. So that is the main reason for this trade. It's not because obviously Pittsburgh doesn't want Makinen, Pittsburgh doesn't want Brown, and Pittsburgh doesn't want to give away Gensel. But again, it's to clear up their cap space. So proposed trade rejected. Quite far off. Okay. Let's see if we can make this work with a draft pick. I don't want to trade away too many draft picks here, but when you look at we have 2 first-round picks from ourselves and then Arizona. We have our second, we have a third, we have a fourth, we have 2 fifths, we have 2 sixths, and we have a 7th. So I would not be opposed to trading Boston's 4th. Let's see if we can make that work. No, quite far off still. Do I want to go with a 3rd for Jake Gensel? They only want draft picks from this year, so yeah. I think I'd be willing to give up our 3rd for this year. I could probably get it back anyway at the draft or even at the trade deadline. So JT Brown, Makinen, and a 3rd for Gensel. Oh, you know what? Let's see if I can squeeze like a 5th round pick in there. Proposed trade, a bit off. Okay, let's maybe a 6th or a 7th. Maybe both, if we're lucky. Proposed trade accepted. Very nice. Okay. I was initially just going to go for Jake Gensel and it straight up, but hey, a 6th and a 7th, you never know. We might get lucky. So we now have our best forward in Jake Gensel from the Pittsburgh Penguins. And it should be looking a little bit better this year. Our team is starting to shape up. We got Jonas Brodin on defense, as we've had him the entire time. And, of course, our new acquisition, Jake Gensel. Derek Pouliot's shaping up pretty well, 81 overall now. Hopefully he can produce offensively for us this year, more than he did last year. Philip Deneau is an 81. Boucher is an 80, so he might be a good 3rd-line scorer, but his potential has dropped down to a bottom 6, so that's something to watch out for. Pulock is up to an 80 as well. So, and then, of course, our 5th overall draft pick, Pete Boychuk. Let me know what we should name him, by the way, nickname him. We do need a nickname for this guy because this guy is already really good. 86 offensive awareness, 85 passing, 85 puck control. This guy is going to be dishing the puck on the power play nonstop. He's going to have like 60 assist seasons, I feel like. So, bright future here in Seattle for sure. So, let's just do the lines really quick. So, best lines. I don't think I want to have Zadina in the NHL this year just because he's a 77 overall depth forward. I feel like he would benefit from one more year in the minors as a top line right winger. So I'm going to do that right now. We're going to send him down and we're going to replace him with someone else. Maybe Joffrey Lupul. I don't know. Because I feel like Lupul will be taking away ice. Oh, Jesus. Come on. What am I saying? I feel like Lupul will be taking ice time away from the younger guys there, so we may as well just play him in the NHL. He's making like the max contract anyway. So Zadina, you're being sent down for one more year. We'll call up Joffrey Lupul. And we will do the best lines once again and see what happens there. So Boucher, Gensel, Connor Brown, and then Lawton, Deno, Lupul, Hardigan, Tierney, Kosarenkov, and then Kopp, Dzingel, and Sternheimer. I'm okay with Sternheimer being there for right now. Again, I know it's not going to be a great season. It's not going to even be a good season, I don't think. I'm not expecting it to be. Unless we have some Vegas magic in us. But I am looking forward to this season with the likes of Pete Boychuk in there, and then our third line, Chuck Hardigan and Ivan Kosarenkov, both rookies, stepping in this year. And then, of course, Jonas Korpisalo with the 87 overall. So we'll see how he does as well. So that's looking pretty good. I do want to see the roles of these rookies. Third line checker and Kosarenkov is also a third line checker. I will leave them on the third line, as is Chris Tierney. So that should make a pretty good third line right there. Looking forward to see how that works out. Ryan Dzingel, Andrew Kopp. Yeah, honestly, that looks good. And then Lupul can relive his prime days there, go in the top six, but Dano and Scott Lawton, although Lawton is pretty good at faceoffs, I might want to get him in there at some point. Maybe move Dano up to the first line, move Gensel to the left wing. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'll just leave the lines as is for right now. Do what the computers suggest. Definitely having Boychuk on the power play. Though I do not want to mess up with Boychuk like I did with Vernarski back in San Jose. that was a pretty big fail in terms of his development. I mean, Vernarski, don't get me wrong, he was a solid top four defensive defenseman, but he just did not pan out the way we expected him to, and I'm not going to mess up with Boychuk. So you guys got to help me out with this guy's development. Make sure I don't do anything wrong with him. All right, this guy is the future for us. So, let's see. Not JT Brown, jeez. Jonas Brodin. I don't know where I got JT Brown from. Connor Brown, Tierney, and Lawton. Who do I want on the power play? I don't think I want Kosarenkov or Hardigan on the power play yet. There are third line checkers. I'm assuming that means they'd be better defensively for right now. So, Dano, Boucher. I feel like at the same time, I feel like there's no other options. So we'll just leave it as is, I guess. We'll put Lawton over here, put him in the face-off dot, and that first unit looks pretty good. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing much I can really do with this team at the moment. Yeah, that looks good. Penalty kill. Again, I don't want to push guys, like our younger guys, when they're not ready. I want to see how Kosarenkov and Hardigan do on 5-on-5 first, then maybe, I don't know, halfway through the season, if they've proven themselves, I'll give them penalty kill time. But if not, then we'll be just fine running with these lines for right now. I'm really not in any rush to develop those guys if they're not ready for a specific special teams or a specific spot. Specific spot in the lineup. So I think that this all looks good right here, except I'm going to put Boychuk over here. Going to put Lawton in the middle. Is Boychuk up here? No, he is not. I'm going to put him here instead of Pulak. And then Lawton in the middle. Yep, that looks good. That looks good. Extra attacker, Gensel, and we'll do Dano. I like having my centers as the extra attackers. And then shootout, Gensel. I mean, this doesn't really matter too much. I mean, sure, we'll just leave it as is, how the computer says it should be. And then, of course, Korpisalo will be our starting goaltender. All right, let's check out the minors, see what's going on here. Wajimaki, Petrovic, Zadina on the first line. That looks good to me. And Howard Kovalchuk, Yuri Malkin, and Malhi. And they got Holland and Bobkov, but then no one really after that. So it looks like we're going to have to sign a few forwards for the minors, and we're also going to have to sign a defenseman for the minors as well. Other than that, it's looking pretty solid. Goaltenders, Eddie Lack and Brendan Lopp. Is Vorobiev? Yes. Okay, so I'm actually going to scratch Lack. We'll have Lopp and Vorobiev on there. See who develops faster? I think, yes. Anthony Vernarski, Jesus. What's his name again? Justin? Yeah, Justin Vernarski will be filling in as the 6th defenseman in the AHL. So we're actually good for defensemen. We just need forwards, I'm pretty sure, as we do not... Oh, we have Joey Legg. True. Okay, so 3 forwards now. Johansson is not one. Sundin is not a prospect. And, okay, so we do need 3 forwards, but that's about it. Not as much as we initially thought. So we'll go into free agency really quick, see who we can get for the minor league team. All right, we got all that out of the way. Now let's set the captains for the minor leagues. I am very concerned about this time because, well, first of all, we can't have those fill-in players being the captains. But what I do want, Filip Zadina is going to captain the minor league team this year. And Petrovic, yep, sure. He's been here long enough to deserve an A. Who else? Liljegren, yes. Timothy Liljegren will be the 2nd alternate captain in the minor leagues. Let's go back up to the NHL now and do the same thing. See what the game has done here. We have 3 alternates, Brodin, Pulik, and Dano. I'm going to change that. Instead of Pulik, it is going to be our new acquisition at center, Jake Gensel. And again, I don't think this team is ready for a captain just yet. We're still looking. We have too many years of non-success to be able to declare a captain yet. So, in my opinion, at least, let me know what you guys think. And I'm pretty sure we're done with scouting. We did it in the last video, so let's simulate a little further until the minor league guys sign, and then we will do best lines for the minor leagues, and then we'll get on with the season. All right, Mahler, Kennanen, and Kasse. Let's get to the line screen once more. Such a process, edit lines. And best lines. There you go. That's looking a little better. And we'll get, who was it? Leg. We get Leg back in there. That is looking much better. Mahler, Petrovic, Zadina, that looks good. Kasse. No, I want Kovalchuk. Kaninen and Wajimaki, that looks good. And then Malkin, Kasse, and Holland, yeah. And then Leg, Malia, and Bobkov. And then on defense, you got Smeed, you got Pelech, you got Liljegren, who will be on the top 2. Foot, not Larson. You're going to have Vernarski here on the bottom 6 pair with Sergei Vasyunov. And instead of Lack, it'll be Vorobiev. There you go. And then we'll check out the power play really quick. Make sure everyone who is on here, or who should be on here, is on here. Yes, it looks like it. So we're not going to touch anything down here. We're just going to leave that all up to the simulation. And one more thing. I am going to replace Niederberger with our new acquisition, Eddie Lack, who is in the minors. Let's do that real quick. Call him up, and we will get him in there in the backup goaltender slot. He's not playing down there anyway, so I figure may as well give him some backup time, because I do want to turn auto-rotate goalies on since we do have 2 elite goaltenders in the minors. So there you go, get Eddie Lack in there. So that trade to Arizona wasn't for nothing. It definitely was not for nothing. So settings, and let's go to rules, and then let's go to auto-rotate goalies on. That is on for the first time in a while, actually, I think. because we were just during the tank. I mean, we're still technically tanking, but during the early stages of the tank, we definitely needed to get those minor league goaltenders in there. So let's get ahead with the rest of the simulation, rest of the preseason, see what happens, and then we will get up to the first game against Toronto, and we will slow sim that game just to see if there are any first goals from the rookies, from Hartigan, from Kosarenkov, and to see who else does what. Maybe a Jake Gensel goal. See what happens. Game versus Toronto on home ice. Sim game. Yep, sim both. First period, nothing doing. Second period, a goal by Chris Tierney is the first goal of the Seattle season. And third period, goal by Chris Tierney again, keep us in it, going to overtime. And a goal by Ryan Pulock for the first win of the season on the first game. Very nicely done, boys. Now, of course, I would prefer if we got, I don't know, another top 10, another top 5 pick would be nice, but we do have a better team this year. We do need to see improvement out of these guys because there are young kids on this team. They need to learn how to have a winning culture, right? But at the same time, we do still need maybe one more good year of drafting, I would say. Where are we going here? WHL. not that I'm shocked about that. But talk about a winning culture. We're 5-1 to start out the season. So very nicely done right there, boys. Great start to the season, and of course you're blowing it already. 5-4. Whatever. I mean, I know that this team is gonna have its rough patches. We're a very young team, right? And Jonas Brodin, of course, is our leading scorer. That was almost expected. Philip Deneau, Chris Tierney, Derek Pouliot has 6 assists already on the season. Connor Brown with 6 assists. Reed Boucher with 5 goals. Dzingel 4. Where is Jake Gensel? Only 3 points so far for Jake Gensel. It's a bit concerning there, especially since he's on the first line. So hopefully he gets going a little bit. If not, I might have to move him down to the second line. And then goaltenders, let's see how Korpisalo is doing. 9-16, 2.7 goals against average. Not too shabby, especially for our team. I mean, I can't complain, honestly. Let's take a look at rookie skaters specifically. So Hartigan, Boychuk, and Kosarenkov. Boychuk has his first NHL goal. There you go. All right, pretty good. Pretty good start to your career there, Boychuk. Same for Kosarenkov. He has an assist, and Hartigan has 2 assists as well. So not too bad of a start. But we are getting very deep into this video, so I'm going to stop it here. So that'll be about it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.